And welcome back. It's 9:20 and it's time for Talk to Me, our Talk to Me segment, the open forum where we encourage persons to be as interactive as possible. Call us at 457-9997. WhatsApp us, same number, 457-9997. We're also live on YouTube and Facebook at WEFM 99.9. That was funny to me. You know, before we go into that, it's interesting to see this headline: PM Gonzalez urges moderation in consumption of fast food in SCG. I think I think that joke is funny off its own. So we're talking Britney Spears this morning, and is privacy dead? Is the question that I want to pose after Roleza introduces the
privacy.
Topic.
That's not really what it's about. Ari, you paying attention to me? All right, go ahead.
I said the question is from me at least.
Oh,
is privacy dead?
Okay. Oh, you mean I'm talking too much? All right. So it's an interesting topic that I wanted to bring up. Mostly to hear a man's point of view on it, right? So we're going to play a very short clip. This is in relation to a memoir that Britney recently released. I think she released it in October, and a particular part of it that I found of interest that I wanted to bring up, just to hear Ari's view or as a man. So
and also the listeners.
Well, yeah, but because you're the one right here next to me, just want to hear your opinion. All right, so go ahead, Ari. All right, what's happening? We're not.
What is happening?
All right, so give us a moment, please.
But for me, it wasn't. The pop icon is telling all in an upcoming memoir, The Woman in Me, written with the help of a collaborator. Among the bombshell revelations, that she had an abortion decades ago after a pregnancy with then-boyfriend Justin Timberlake. That disclosure coming through excerpts of the memoir released early to People magazine. The pregnancy was a surprise, but for me, it wasn't a tragedy, Spears writes. I love Justin so much. I always expected us to have a family together one day. Justin definitely wasn't happy about the pregnancy. He said we weren't ready to have a baby in our lives, that we were way too young. The couple started dating when Timberlake was 18 and Spears just 17. The abortion, she recalls, is one of the most agonizing things I have ever experienced in my life. The pop icon is telling.
All right, so that's the essence of it. Britney spoke about the fact that when she was younger, very young actually, she had gotten pregnant by her then boyfriend, Justin Timberlake, and he asked that she gets an abortion. No, she wasn't necessarily up for it because she was in love with him, but she decided to do it anyway. Now, full disclaimer, as far as I know, and legally as it stands, abortion isn't legal in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. However, no. However, we know that it is done, not necessarily stating that we are advocating for it, yes or no. But I just thought it was interesting because I wanted to hear Ari's opinion on this, or just generally listeners' opinion. Should a man have a say in whether or not a woman should keep a child?
Abortion is illegal in St. Vincent.
It's not
There's
legal.
a law. There's a law that says that you cannot abort a child.
Yes. It's not legal.
You have it?
No, I don't have the law in front of me, but
very, very first I'm hearing this.
I did ask someone before bringing the topic up, so yeah.
You asked a lawyer?
Mm-hmm.
And they said that abortion is illegal.
Let me find the correct words. But go ahead on your thoughts. Mm-hmm.
First of all, I think Britney Pinkett Spears needs to relax. I don't understand why.
Okay, so the person responded when I asked, they said no, they are not formally on the law books.
Oh, it's not formally. Okay,
yeah.
Because
right?
I want to know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand now. No. So yeah, I really don't understand the. Well, I already feel like Britney Spears and all the way there.
No,
but to bring this up
now, currently, but
I know. But to bring this up now, to me, it's odd. And also, as much as I believe that if an experience happens between two people, it's equally your story as it is the other person. I really have a strong, strong feeling that Justin Timberlake didn't have a say in this memoir. But that being said, if it is that a lot of women feel the need to lean on a man to take care of the child, to provide
take care
as
of
you
their
often
child,
say, yeah,
to
their
take care of
child, to
our
provide
child.
as they often say, then I should have a say in whether or not I want to bring this child into the world. You can't tell me that I'm not financially stable or I'm not emotionally mature enough to be a parent, but I don't have a choice in whether or not we bring a child into the world. But on the same hand, if it is that I didn't want to be put into the situation, I could have always abstained and I could have always used protection.
But sometimes these contraceptive methods do fail, right? So if
Mm-hmm.
you're at that point where both of you did the correct thing in terms of the responsible thing, and the situation presents itself where the woman now becomes pregnant, and she tells you about it, should you, possibly knowing, and in case of Justin, he was not ready to have a child, however, she was, do you think that as a man you should have a say in whether or not she brings forth
Of
this child?
course, of course. I most definitely believe that you should have a say.
But if she advocates that, well, this is my body, I choose to do what I want with my body.
And we sign a legal document so you and your child could go all the
You
separate
and your
ways.
child.
Leave me alone.
You mean
If I am
because at
telling
that
you that
point
I
in
am
time,
not ready, that I'm not in the financial space to take care of a child, I'm not mentally mature enough to take care of a child, you cannot in turn be mad if I do not want to be a part of this child's life. No, people would say that as a man, you're supposed to man up, you're supposed to take responsibility,
the child is
but you
already
would
here. This is something
never
that people say, the
given
child
me,
is already
but you
here.
didn't give me a choice.
Mhm.
You didn't give me a choice because when I wanted to lend my voice, you said, "Nah, shut your mouth. This is about me now."
And what if a case where she brings forth the child, you haven't disclosed that you have no rights to the child, but you want to then turn around and say, after she's brought forth the child, you've had this change of heart. Do you think that you should be allowed access to this child, knowing
Am I
that you?
provided? Am I providing financially for the
You
child?
mean if at that point in time you are going to this site to provide for the child?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. The reason why I found it interesting is that we always have this sort of conversation, or a lot of the times it seems as if the responsibility of a child falls on the woman, right? But even in the cases of, let's say, not bringing forth a child, if a man says that he isn't ready, however, the woman is ready, legally, should he, what happens to the man in this situation? You follow?
Repeat that one more time.
What happens to the man? Because regardless, you are still going to be the father of this child. But if you have chosen not to play a part in it, and if you stated upfront that you don't want for this child to be brought into the world, then what happens in those instances? That's what I was curious about.
I feel like legally I shouldn't be forced into the situation.
I had a conversation recently with a friend. So he actually doesn't want children. And I asked him the question, let's say if he's involved with someone and she got rid of the child, she fell pregnant, she got rid of the child, would he want to know before or after the act is done? And he actually said he would have preferred to know before, because he did play his part in bringing the child into the creation of this child. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was curious. More.
I don't know. I don't really feel it should be a conversation between two people because
But if two
although
persons can come to a common decision, I think that is where it is I'm trying to figure out, because as a woman, you can say, this is my body. I can choose to bring forth my child. Have you play no part in the upbringing of this child, and I could probably then turn around and use it against you and say, well, you never wanted this child. Why are you coming now to pretend to be in this child's life?
well,
You know, I've
isn't that what happens in a lot of the cases?
Yeah, and then the other thing too, in this particular topic, I also have to look at the ages of both of them, because they were very young. They weren't even 20 years yet. So in a way, did Justin do the right thing? Someone saying, Trevor saying, if you're mentally ready to have a child, you shouldn't be having sex in the. Oh, if you aren't mentally ready to have a child, you shouldn't be having sex in the first place. This is where you put yourself and your needs above all others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you know the thing of it is, Trevor, things do happen. Quote unquote accidents do happen. But it's at that point, what do you do after the accident has happened? If two persons can't come to a common decision, what happens to the child in that case?
Ultimately, it's up to the woman. I can't
Mm,
force you to abort the child.
mm.
If I meet and kick you in your belly, then I should be.
Ari,
Ari what? Ari what?
if let me hear finish that sentence. Let me
If
hear.
I meet you and kick you in your belly, then I should face
Oh,
the hand of the law for that.
okay.
But ultimately, it's up to the woman to decide whether or not she wants to keep the child, because rightfully
Mm,
so, it is her body. But I do believe that the man should have a say.
mm. Yeah.
All
All
right,
right.
we have a caller. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, interesting. Coming from Roleza, I would like to hear her own thing on this too. But over the years, I have experienced a lot of this. I mean, if not personally, from close friends of mine who seek my advice in all of this. But as you said, better be safe than to be sorry. I just want to begin with that because you know what can be the consequences of having sex, and that's why we always say that check yourself, wear a condom. Well, you have so much condoms now you can utilize both
Mm-hmm.
male and female.
Mm-hmm.
So um, if you start off wrong in terms of having sex and so on, and you're not prepared to face the consequences, you know, this is what will you have to hot up your head now at the time when the damage has been done. I don't know if there's any advisory people who you can go to and all of that to get a final sort of decision as to if both of you are not understanding each other when the pregnancy comes along.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it will be good to know who you can go to and so on. Well, people go to all kinds of some will go to certain both partners will share because that's how I know of a lot of this happening. And abortion, as far as I know, is not legal in some means.
But it doesn't sound
I
like it
don't,
is illegal.
huh?
Doesn't sound like it's illegal either.
Yeah, because of the practice. Well, I'm aware. I know the doctors. I know doctors who who have been practicing this. Um, I don't know how much doctors do this, but those are very conscious, aware of the law and so on. And then there's the belief, the religious belief about all of this too,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
right? Where um, well, the church preaches that. The established churches from way back when would have preached that to you and so on. Anyhow, I just added my voice to that. Yeah, Rolita, let me hear
You
what you
raised
would
some
do.
good
Thank you.
points.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
Thanks,
you.
All
Dave.
right. Thank you.
All right. So I guess that one of the other questions too is, do persons necessarily stop and think of who they're getting involved with sexually? Because because one of the other issues is, if you do not consider whether or not this person might be a good enough parent, should you actually even become involved with them?
And that's what Trevor is saying.
Yeah.
But no, we live in a sex positive world where a lot of people think it's okay to do a lot of things that we used to frown upon back in the day. Trevor says, take responsibility. This is where the go forth and multiply excuses come in without the responsibility that goes with that action. You know, I always say, apart from having children, polygamy is polygamy. Polygamy. Polygamy is a rich man's game. You can't be doing certain things and you're not able to handle the lifestyle financially. If you're going to have more than one wives or more than one girlfriends, you should be able to take care of them if necessary. And I feel the same way about children. If it is that you are actively releasing in someone, then you should be conscious of the fact that the possibility exists.
Yeah, I know it's just one of those interesting topics. As Ari said, you have to, I guess you have to also be with somebody who is mature enough to have the discussion with should the situation arise. You know, but as I said, it's and Dave was asking what's my opinion on it. I don't know, because I can understand from a woman's point of view where I can say, if I got pregnant, and I choose to bring forth the child, and a man says that he wants no part of it, then I will bring forth my child and I will take care of the child to the best of my ability. Now, where the problem may start or come into play is where, let's say, I'm finding myself in difficulty in terms of being solely responsible for financially maintaining this child, and then I want to take the man to family court. You know, is it fair to the man in that instance?
No, it is not.
Because he has already stated something upfront. However, we both brought a child into the world. Whether or not he was ready for the child, yes or no, we both brought that child into the world. Technically nothing.
Technically, if you're saying it's your body,
if
it's your body, whatever, you brought the child in the world by yourself.
Half the parent, the other the father's DNA, right? But on the other hand, I can understand where, let's say, a man, and in the cases of these two persons, Brittany, so we're going back to Brittany Spears and Justin, they were very young. They literally had their whole lives ahead of them. Bringing a child into the world at that point in time where they were not ready would have derailed or might have derailed their careers, right?
Their careers, that's not how it works.
Generally, it affects the woman more than it does the man, right?
Justin would have been fine.
Yeah, he probably would have been fine, or Brittany would have needed a lot more support. But yeah, I guess it just goes back to being mature, finding mature partners to be with, to be sexually involved with, because depending on what happens, you could be faced with certain situations.
I feel like I could have done without this story. But
why? Oh no, but you have to look at the topic that's behind it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the topic. I'm saying I feel like I could have done without the information from Britney Spears, especially now. But I do think that Justin Timberlake was mature at the time in saying, hey, I'm not ready for this. Because a lot of people say nothing, especially at that age.
Or run away.
He can't run away, Justin.
Yeah, but he could pretend to not want to have anything to do with it, you know.
That is also true.
Also what tends to happen sometimes is a man might say, well, it's somebody else's child. Start calling all kind of names who they know not responsible.
And sometimes it is other people's children. You never used to watch them judge shows and Jerry and all of that. Maury and Dr. Phil and all of them things. Man taking care of children for years and it's not their children. That's a whole other topic too. That's a whole other topic too.
Another topic, because I always feel if you've already formed that attachment to the child, oh gosh, you don't just abandon the child.
Boy, I was at a line recently. And somebody said, if they were to find out after 10 years that the child that they brought up, not theirs, they're not going to say anything. But if the father then comes in the picture, he wants back pay.
No, but you don't
listen, I want back pay for this child. All this money I spent on this child. If you're coming in and you want to be daddy, pay me for my time. But the time is now 9:40 and it's time for community dateline this morning.